Hello everyone and welcome to the Kittens of War Gaming podcast, the podcast where the Kittens of War Gaming community talk all things video games. My name is TurboTony, I'm your host, almost always, as we often have other hosts and everything. But I am your host here this week as usual, and we're here with Fraknyr and TeamugTom. Say hello to the masses.
Hello.
Hello. They're all there, waving back at you, I'm sure.
Yay.
I'm sure there's someone just waving at their laptop, and if you are, then I give you a thumbs up right now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How you guys doing this week?
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
We are back from a 2-week hiatus,
Yay.
in which we were all unavailable to be doing the podcast.
Real reared its ugly head.
Yes, that's it. It just seems like when one of us gets busy, it's like all of us get uber busy all of a sudden. It's just like madness, but that's the way it is. It's the way it is. That's life. That's the way we have to do things. A little bit of news just before we start, obviously, the podcast. A little bit of news in regards to next week. Yeah, I know I haven't been around for the last 2 weeks. I won't be around next week either, because next week is WrestleMania week, and anyone knows I do a wrestling podcast, and that's the biggest show in the world of that kind, and yeah, I'm going to be pretty damn busy throughout that week. But I'm sure, you know, if other kittens are around, then we might get another episode for you, or we'll be back the week after. I'd like to say thank you to people that listened to the last episode. I know we got some feedback in regards to it. Some people really liked that episode, so that's great. We're going to be running roughly with that format as we go forward. Of course, we're going to be reviewing games, but we're going to just add them in randomly in our random chats, because it just seems to be that people really enjoy listening to us rabble on about things.
Just chat shit.
It's what we do best.
Yeah, I like to. Obviously, because it's an all-male, you know, episode that we're doing. I feel like we're all a bunch of old men just talking about games, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Bitter old farts.
bitter old farts, yeah.
That is exactly us.
About what?
Games aren't like they were in my day.
Yeah. Always chatting about games were harder back in our time, and all along.
We didn't have YouTube to help us.
Didn't
We
have
didn't
none
have
of these
internet.
walkthroughs. You had to do it on your own.
You had to buy a magazine.
Yeah. Back in those days where the only way you could get cheats for the games was to buy a magazine and hope that they came, like, you know, extra packaged in. There would be like a cheat book.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like tiny little hints and I remember buying like the old PlayStation 2 magazines, just thumbing through, going, "Is there anything relevant to the game that I'm playing?"
Anything at all. I'd take a paragraph, just anything.
Yeah, just a single sentence, a hint, anything.
I remember that, like, I used to read PSM, which was like an unofficial PlayStation magazine.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Which is quite ironic now, considering I haven't owned a PlayStation in years. I jumped ship. I abandoned the homeland, shall we say, and went to Xbox. But yeah, I used to get that all the time. But as you say, like, a little bit of a shame. I kind of liked having like the collection of magazines, and then as soon as you could, like, all that stuff I could just get on the internet with really good writing. I was just like, oh, well, I don't need magazines anymore. Just a shame, but it's kind of
There is something I'm going to bring up that's going to swing back to that point actually, but we'll talk about that in a bit. 'Cause I have a slight rant to go on about that.
Ooh,
Kinda
always
be-
love the rants.
Kind of me intrigued. I like that. Good stuff. Just a little bit of chat then about what we've been doing this week. It pretty much revolves around stuff that we've all done together, I imagine.
Yes, we've had quite a social week this week, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We killed the Ender Dragon in Minecraft, which you did say we were going to do. It's dead. And we've got footage coming up roughly in regards to that. Don't know if it's coming from myself, because the footage ended up getting a little bit audio funny. But I know you've got some good footage, Chris, so I'm sure that you...
I have it, yes. It's just we did a very big night and it was 4 hours worth of uninterrupted footage, so it's been an absolute monster to edit and then render.
Yeah, of course.
Because, of course, me being me, I didn't have the forethought to note down times or anything like that, so I've had to go through the footage and just section it out, because... Well, what I've done is, like, kind of, some of them are quite short, some of them are quite long. It's like the one with the Ender Dragon, that one's only about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But some of the puzzle ones are running, like, over an hour.
Yeah, so you got to condense that in, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped recording when we started doing the bid of Big Adventure Map, because I was like, I'm not going to have the hard drive space, because I knew it was going to take us, this is going to be like a big thing. I was like, I'll be happy with the Ender Dragon, but then... my damn overheating issue. The weird thing that happens with my overeating issue when I record, right, is that people could be talking, and then my laptop overheats, so it drops frames. You guys, I've told you about. You're probably sick of me saying I drop frames on my computer. But when I do that when I'm recording, it warps the sound. So suddenly it sounds like everyone is Barry White for about 2 seconds, and it goes back up again. It's like,
oh yeah, I've had that as well. My computer likes to do it like right at the very start of an episode, but the audio looks exactly the same as it would do if it recorded normally, and it does match up with the video. But the video is the same speed, but my voice is just like really slow, and yeah, I sound like Barry White for a good 10 seconds going, welcome to Outlaw. Yeah. It's really weird.
One of these days, you're going to have to do a video just talking like that, just to freak people out and think, oh, he's released a video that's completely like the audio's warped, and then you're like, I got you, sort of thing. Like,
I fooled you all.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, but that will obviously come up, and we'll obviously, I'm sure that we can upload some stuff to obviously this channel, so you can see obviously there. If not, you can catch it on Chris's channel as well. I'm sure I'll upload something. It's just me getting through all of it. And like I said, this week is going to be absolutely mental. I have 9 hours of wrestling to watch this week and review.
Oh, Jesus.
9 hours. So.
I can't even fathom watching half an hour of wrestling. I can't even imagine how you do that.
I know. And technically, if I watch the 2-hour pre-show and the hour after show of WrestleMania, you can add another 3 hours onto that. But I'm probably going to be frazzled by that point, so I probably won't. So yeah
probably.
A lot to watch over the next couple of times. But the things we do, huh? So, enough about wrestling anyway, because obviously it's a gaming podcast. So yeah, we were playing Minecraft there. We were doing a great map called Diversity 2. It comes packed in with the realms. And man, that was way more fun than I thought it was going to be, loading that up.
It was tremendous fun.
Yeah, I mean, it got like I noticed it got like a little bit slow during like the really like horrendous puzzle bits, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Although we did manage to get a fair little bit of trolling in, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Well, like, we were throwing people off somewhere. Oh yeah, with the pyramid. The pyramid.
You had
bit.
to race the path in the pyramids.
I'm being a fucking douchebag with the button.
Just bang it.
There you go. I pressed the button. Oh, did I not press it?
No, I think the reason I like that, right? And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you can YouTube it. And like I said, if you're an avid Minecraft watcher, you've probably seen the map already because obviously it's packed in with the realms. Man, I was just like, it's so cool because you're doing lots of these little things to basically complete the monument, but they're all different tasks. You've got like the trivia, you've got like the adventure map, you've got like the...
there's like 8 different maps, all of which you complete for a coloured block, which you put in like the main hub, and it completes the monument. I think we got like halfway through it, we got like 4 minigames done, I think it was.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah.
I think so,
It was just insane, like the amount of you see kind of stuff like that on YouTube until you actually get in and play it, you realise just how fucking monumental and how these people build these things must have absolutely no existence beyond Minecraft.
Yeah, I know. Just be able to build and code it as well, because they've got to do like, it's an adventure map, so they have to like do all the coding and stuff like that. So that is mental. But
insane. I mean, even like the main starting area was impressive by itself.
Because
we walked into an area that we thought was just empty blackness, and it turned out it's just like this gigantic sphere.
Yeah. The thing is, I think there's 2 maps like that come with the realms, and that's the easier of the 2. So obviously we're gonna have to clear that one out and go to the super hard one, which apparently is more combat based. But like, come on, like even with the Ender Dragon, we had like 5 people, or fighting it. So I think we've got the manpower to deal with what I say that now. We upload a video where it's just getting destroyed or something like that.
From the videos I've seen of people fighting the Ender Dragon, we didn't actually do too half badly.
No, I think we did really well.
Yeah.
Bar Tom obviously having his absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know what happened there, but I was next to useless. I was just looking over towards the Ender Dragon. It turned into a giant spear. Then it was just a long half snake thing, and then it turned into the USG Ishimura.
It was really good.
It's just empty pillars of obsidian, then a forest of commas that I think
the forest of commas that was like because you posted was it 5 or 6 screenshots on the Facebook page, and it was just it was a fucking mess. It's like he could see us, we were perfectly fine, it's just the entire environment around us was like not even there most of the time,
and it was only the end, wasn't it? Because when you went back to the main world, everything was okay.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like,
Yeah,
I know I had skybox issues because I put my my computer isn't that great. When you said I have overheating issues, like I put my my limit down on how far I can see, the view distance, right? And like when I put it too low, it wouldn't like do like the skybox correctly, and it was I can't really you might see it in the video that I put up, but like I ended up having to bump it up like 2 blocks just so it was weird. It's kind of sorted itself out, so but still quite weird. But
I feel bad because mine worked perfectly fine.
yeah, don't feel bad. That's a good thing.
It's like mine was like kind of working really well. I got like barely any lag issues. It was like I dropped frames a couple of times, but that was about it.
Yeah,
and like the Ender Dragon being a douchebag and coming straight at us like obsidian pillars.
Yeah. When we first got in there, the panic when we all first got into the end, it was just like, what the fuck is going? He can go through anything. It's crazy and all this lot. So, no, I think the main issue with my computer is because like you've actually got a PC, I've got a laptop, so there's nowhere for the heat to go. So it's just like my laptop overheats and it's just like do anything. So and it's weird that Minecraft overheats my laptop worse than Guild Wars. I just don't understand how that's possible, but
yeah, it's a bit weird.
Still to this day. When we played Iron Brigade, do you remember that laptop made that game made my laptop overheat more than any other game I've ever seen.
Yeah, my computer didn't like that one either. It was it struggled with Iron Brigade.
It's not even like you look at it and you think that game shouldn't be that taxing, really.
Yeah. 2012, for God's sake.
Yeah,
it's not Crisis.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good, but there's not. I mean, it's like a wave defense. It's like there's not really that much going on. Surely it shouldn't be that taxing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But well, there's loads of issues with that game. We already talked about that as well.
Oh yeah, we went in depth about the abomination that is Iron Brigade and how it would be one of the greatest games ever if it worked.
Yeah.
If only Double Fine would pull their bloody thumb out their backsides and just backside.
No, they can't do that. They need both their hands to ask people for more money. That's what they need.
To go to their nightclubs and tennis courts and everything that surrounds them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not bitter. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm bitter as fuck.
Yeah, we're all quite bitter. Yeah. I think Tom mostly because he bought the thing for some people.
I didn't mind buying. That was the annoying thing. I just saw it on the Xbox Arcade. I played it. I loved it because I love steampunk. I love diesel punk. I love every kind of punk there is. And it was just disappointing. I think that's what's worse. It doesn't make me angry. It makes me so disappointed. It makes me spew bile and bitterness.
Yeah. It's like the single player works, but that's not a single player game. It's a game that's built to be multiplayer.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer is completely non-functional because it's got a massive coding error in it.
I know. It's like the whole Windows, games for Windows Live thing is the thing that like holds it back and makes it really crap. And like the thing about it, like taking that out, I don't think would be that much of a big issue. You just basically, take that out and try and implement it to go through.
I don't blame Windows Live at all. I've played multiplayer games with Windows Live. Warhammer 40k, for instance, Warhammer Dawn of War 2. That's a Windows for Live game. That's got a multiplayer. It's stable. It works.
Obviously, it doesn't mesh well with Iron Brigade, though. So.
Yeah, and so I kind of blame the developers for that because a multiplayer game with Windows Live can be done. It can work. So that's them dropping the ball with not bothering to code shit properly.
No, I agree.
Fine, I'm not exactly renowned for their steadfastness and integrity towards their games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we covered that a lot before, haven't we? All the Double Fine stuff. Them and the interesting Peter Molyneux episode that we did in terms of morality in the games industry and all that lot. Let's talk about some stuff that makes us a little bit more happier. Grand Theft Auto Online Heists launched over the last 2 weeks.
Tremendous fun.
Yep. They released. They had I remember seeing because I don't play it myself because all of you bastards have only got Xbox 360 and I'm the only one with an next-gen console, so I can play with anyone.
Okay. So what's the weddings to pay for?
Yeah, well, suck an egg. That's my comeback bit. Yeah. But it's like I saw they did have like exactly the same issue they had when they first went online, where it's announced, okay, heists are now on. Everyone tried to play them all at once, and it caused some like horrendous errors.
Yeah,
it's like some of the heists wouldn't work. Some of them would like kick you out early, or for some reason, Like some people couldn't even get onto online because everyone was trying to get onto the heists. It's like, okay, I can kind of forgive them for the first time they did it because, like, even though I do think they should have been prepared for it when it happened the first time when they first launched online, because it's fucking GTA and it's online. You should expect your servers to get absolutely butt hammered.
Yeah.
But like after seeing it, when it came online, people were really looking forward to it. Heists are coming online. People are really looking forward to that. Maybe we should bulk the living shit out of our servers for about 24 hours so they don't all immediately fail. But no, apparently not.
Now, because I've played a lot of MMOs, I know GTA isn't an MMO, but with the traffic and the amount of people going online, what I'm about to say does make reference towards MMOs, right? When a new patch or big update comes out, inevitability is that, some part of it is gonna fail, right? You can't, for some reason with the coding, you can't stress test that sort of stuff. It's quite hard to do. So I'm more defensive of this only because they fixed a lot of the issues within a couple of days of it launching. Now, with the GTA Online, when it first launched, I mean, that shit was broken for about 2 weeks. You couldn't play it, right?
For a while.
But
that was unplayable.
Yeah, like me and Tom eventually managed to kind of like break things when like the day after the heist came out. We managed to do the first heist. Couldn't do anything after that. But a couple of days afterwards, everything was working roughly okay, and we were able to do things.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, in terms of like the launch of heists, and I mean Tom can relate to this. It goes along a lot with the ethos of GTA Online, where when it's working and all the players that you're working with are doing exactly what the game intended you to do, there is nothing out there that can match the feeling that the heists can give you. When we were doing the heist and everything was working perfectly, it was beautiful. And I've never had a moment like that in games where we're literally, all of us were screaming at each other over the mics because it was so tense.
Yeah.
And like, we were doing the bits where like Tom was like the police officer and like I was the fake prisoner, and so we were like,
you were just screaming out disregard the constabulary.
like fuck the police, and so I was getting into the roles of it and everything like that. So I mean, when it's all working and like literally when the heists are working at its most brilliant, like this is the only part that we played. We have done a few heists, but
it was a level of coordination that I only expect from Guns of Icarus.
Yeah. But like the cool thing about it is like literally the money shot of the heist is right at the end. You've got the guy out of the prison, right? You've got like a 5-star wanted level, so they're fucking coming after you with everything you've got, and you're in like an armored truck. You've got one of the other guys who's in a helicopter shooting down the helicopters while he's getting attacked, and you've got another guy who's in a plane who's trying to dodge jet fighters fighting him, and he's landing trying to pick you up to get out. And it's like, it's just chaos, and you're like, come on, everyone talk to me, what the fuck's going on, how do we do it? You land here, we go here, and it's just like, it's brilliant. So that sounds awesome, and it is, and it's amazing, but I think as Tom will allude to, the problem is that getting a group, right, and me, Tom, and Matt were all in the group, so we only need one person, right, so that's the very least that we need a plug for, right, getting a group together and making sure that you have to follow these criteria. If one person leaves or DCs, the entire mission ends, and you have to go right back to the beginning. That is infuriating. There was one that we did, I think it was with the bus, and we did it, lost the police, was just about to drive and drop it off, one of the high setup missions. Someone left, we fail. Get nothing. Yeah?
Not even you go to the reboot scheme, you get booted straight back to free mode.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Shit. Wow.
Yeah. So that's really, so if you've got like, for instance, we had a few times where the one person was like the other person, a random brought in, and if you got one that you can think he does a mission and he's quite stable, you're like, we would desperately try and like message him and be like, come back, we want you back, because we don't want randoms in that are going to drop out and all that crap.
Yeah.
There's also some other stuff as well, that if you've got someone in your group that decides, you know what, I am going to troll, there's nothing to stop them from doing so. So like Tom was saying there just before we came on, there's a bit where like you have to synchronize. You basically, it breaks up your team of 4 into 2 teams, and you both have to do different missions at the same time, right? And one of them is assassinating these 2 guys that get out of this cab, and you have to do it with sniper rifles, and you have to do it at the same time, so one of them can't run away.
Yeah.
If the other guy decides, fuck it, I'm going to shoot him with a rocket launcher, instant fail. Doesn't just fail for you, it fails for the other team as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it takes is like just one douchebag to ruin your day.
Yeah.
That's why,
there was one level where you're supposed to go in you're disguised as coppers. You've got to go into a police station to pull up a transfer heist. Now, everyone, I don't know why, they don't seem to grasp the concept that you can pull out your phone, dial 3 numbers to get the police right at you. They just drive around shooting everything, and I'm just standing there with this one guy going absolutely mental with my phone out, just going, I've just called up.
Yeah.
You can calm down.
They're going to come and investigate, and then we can take their car. It's not too much of an issue, yeah.
That's it. When we did it, Tony, it was literally just, we called the police, waited there for 20 seconds. Suddenly they turned up, they stopped the car, and they were looking around just like, someone called. Then suddenly 2 police officers bundled them out of the car and jump in and drive away. 1-star wanted level. Shake it off easy. But every time I've done it with every other person, it's 3-star wanted levels. They're looking at me like I'm a moron driving around trying to lose these police officers. But it's just annoying.
Yeah.
And one guy I had, he was just really obnoxious. He just kept kicking me out of the car so he could drive because he wanted all the action.
Mm.
And first time he just started shooting up things, he just turned to me and just flipped me off because I was just standing there with my phone out.
Mm.
It's like,
That's it. That's something. And you know what? Someone like that is going to get really pissed off, and they think, I'm going to make all these guys really angry. I'm just going to leave at the end of this, and everyone gets pissed off. So, yeah, it's best played with 4 players. That's why we're desperately trying to find someone that's got a 360 version that can fill that void, so we don't have to rely on randoms. But like I said, with all those issues aside, when it's working as it's intended,
it's fantastic good fun.
Oh, it's like I said, I haven't experienced what it can give you before. It's just a moment, and afterwards where actually we did a heist, and it genuinely felt like I wanted to role play us just relaxing with our money, just going to the strip club and getting drunk and all that shit. So
with that same heist beforehand, we were actually really, really weirdly coordinated. We just slipped into it because we were hijacking a plane. You were running over to the plane. I was stuck behind a crate, and they just said, "Hold up, we've got incoming."
Yeah.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Unironically. Like I stepped into COD mode or something.
But the thing is that it promotes so much. You can do it without talking, right? Let's just say I have done some of that. I've done the first heist and a lot of the setup missions for the second one without talking to anyone. Where don't have a mic on, you're just going through, just expecting the other guy to do their thing. But it's much smoother and much easier if you're talking to your group and you know exactly where everyone is. Because when we were talking there, it was okay, no, I was in the plane. I would have gone off, and more than likely I would have got attacked, and then you get bullets in your plane, which lowers the end of your payday at the end. But because Tom and Matt were like, no, we've got another wave coming in. You need to stay there. I was like, okay, I'll hold off here. They cleared them out. That way I get away without almost any damage. Bada bing. Awesome. But yeah, I
have to admit the new assets you get with the heist update is fantastic.
Oh
so I've got myself the what's it called? The armored
Kruma,
and it makes my life so much easier when I go in and do a heist. Because you could literally just take this car, drive into a bunch of AK wielding maniacs, and you just literally pop your head out the window and say, "Hey guys, I'm just going to kill all of you." Pull your head back in, wind the window up, and you just spray pistols out. Do anything to you.
Just so Chris knows, and obviously everyone else that we're talking about, you may be thinking, but when you get shot, it's fully armoured, and it's very unlikely that they can shoot you through the armour.
It's like narrow slits where you can see through.
Yeah.
The downside is you can't throw out explosives, but
do you really need to? Come on, you're in an armoured car killing everyone. I know we did one of the ordinary missions, and we literally never left your car, and we literally just ran around just murdering people.
Although having said that, last weekend I was taken out by one guy with a shotgun.
Oh, well, probably.
I think that was down to my own hubris more than anything else, because I was just driving around nice and slowly, just trying to line him up so I could run him down. Suddenly, next thing I know, my door's dropped off, and he's just looking at me through where the door was. There is none. So wide open shot. I'm just sitting there, just like, well,
that didn't work out.
So my own hubris paid for that one.
But yeah, so Chris, pick up a cheap Xbox, get GTA.
Yeah. I'm going to have to now.
Join us, yeah. We need a fourth member. We're desperate for a fourth member. We really are. So. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the cool things. Any other news about GTA is that obviously it's going to be released on PC soon.
Yeah.
Sometime next month. Doesn't really bother me now, but once down the line, touch wood, get a new system, and then obviously get it on there, and be able to mod that shit to all high heaven, and see what crazy mods are they going to do for that game. That just makes me excited. What mods are they going to do for GTA? Because you see some of the hacked ones for the Xbox at the moment where they make it like the entire map is all snowed over, or like the entire map is submerged and it's all Atlantis.
Yeah.
Have you seen those sort of ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I want it. But some of the other ones they'll be able to do, because like GTA 4 is like modded to like high heaven. You could be Spider-Man. You could be Lee from The Walking Dead.
You could be Anna from Frozen, just for a giggle.
Really? I didn't even know you could.
No, they had that on GTA, or was it else? Yeah, it was Anna. Just this lovely little clip of her just shooting shotguns into police officers with the soundtrack of Let It Go in the background.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. That's what games are meant for. But yeah, that's the main thing I would say with heists, right? My main thing I would say to anyone listening, if you've got a group of 3 friends that have the game, believe me, there's not much out there that is going to be more fun than heists. If you have 3 or less, then get ready for at least some frustration getting to where you want to go. Yeah. There has been times where literally me, Tom, and Matt was sitting there tearing our hair out because some moron decided, okay, I'm just going to not really play that well, or
I'm going to play by your rules, man.
Yeah. There was one guy who we started off, we all got in our cars all ready and excited, and he just left, and it's like, okay, we have to go back into the lobby, we have to invite people, and you'd be surprised how little amount of people want to join a pug heist. Like, not a lot of people want to, like, we were waiting sometimes up to 10 minutes for someone to get into our group. We only needed one guy. You know what I mean? Mm. It's because now everyone knows that if you get into a heist with a group of randoms, the likeliness that one of them's going to be a bit of a prick or one of them's going to have disconnect issues is pretty fucking high. So it's not even worth your time. So
yeah,
that's part of the issue with that. And some of the missions as well, before we move on, I don't want to talk about this too long, is like, you don't even need 4 people to do it. Some of them you do, some of them you don't. Like the mission that you have to procure the bus, or even the first mission where you have to get the plane, you don't need all 4 people. You could probably do it with 3 or 2.
Yeah.
So if someone leaves, those missions at the very least let people continue them, but it doesn't for some reason. It just,
Yeah, or you think it would have an option where it would just like kind of pause the mission where you are, and like and the system randomly tries to find someone else who's waiting.
Yeah. I mean, it could, to be honest, that would be cool. I mean, if that popped up on for me, and it's like, oh, would you want to join this mission that's halfway through? I'm like, well, they've already done halfway through the mission. That's easy money for me. I'll join in and do it. But yeah, it's so much fun, and like I said, we're just desperate to get one more person so we don't have to rely on the randomness of other people.
Help us, Chris. You're our only hope.
One of us. I made you buy Guild Wars, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You see, Morgan has that effect over me. He can make me buy stuff, and I feel like I have that for other people now. He's given that to me. I can make them buy things.
So the power.
Only with sales, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you guys bought Guild Wars for like dirt cheap. Was it like less than a tenner, £8 or something like that?
I think the response was, "Oh, it's on sale," and just like, fine, just to shut you up.
Yeah, but it's a brilliant game. Chris is getting into it.
Yeah, I'm getting into it. I did a little bit of leveling up just before we came on. Got myself up to level 37, so I'm getting
it. I've got basically what you guys made me think of. I was like, well, you guys aren't doing your normal format. What we're doing here is we're just kind of bringing up bullet points and just rambling on about things. It's kind of the format we're going for now. Did you guys hear about this stuff about Nintendo possibly launching another console already?
No, I didn't hear about that. It's news to me.
They did like an update, and basically it's like, oh, this big thing that's going to be happening soon. They're doing this press release and all this lot, and it's a lot of people think that it's quite likely because with the success of the 3DS, there's not really much reason for them to release a new handheld because that's still doing really well for them.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that isn't doing for them, as we all know, is the Wii U. It's doing shit. It's losing them a lot of money.
I've heard it's actually picking up a little bit in contrast to the release of.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's doing shit. I would say it's doing shit, but it's not doing half as well as like the PlayStation or the Xbox. Mostly because the Wii U's only got like 4 games that people want. That's like Smash Bros, Mario Kart 8, like and like maybe a couple of other Mario games.
But you think
That's
a lot
about it.
of those games didn't come out when the system launched itself, and I think that was a main issue.
Yeah.
And one of their big things is that they like to say "fuck you" to third-party developers. That's one of their big problems that they've had with the Wii. And also, I mean, they didn't fix that. I mean, come on, it was the Wii that had this issue, and they didn't fix it with the Wii U. And the fact, I think, the main issue with that is that I mean, the only Wii U I've ever seen is my dad's. He bought one, right? And you get the tablet, which is your main controller for it, and the tablet's battery life is fucking abysmal. It really is. Like, the more you use it, the less it gets, and you've got max out of it about 5 hours before you need to put it on charge again.
Wow.
So it's meant for you to play, a couple bit here and there. It's not really meant for proper play sessions, which you think it's a next gen console. It should really be built for that. But
yeah.
have you guys got a Wii or a Wii U?
I've got a Wii ghosting around somewhere.
Yeah. There's a Wii. Like, I played a Wii recently. Kids have got Wii, so
yeah, I've got a Wii. My daughter has one. I bought it for Christmas because it was a cheap console. She's getting into gaming and all that lot.
Oh, you can get Wii's for like what, 30 quid?
Yeah, I mean, I got
Insane.
what was it about €60 total I paid, and that was I got the nunchuck with it. I got tons of games. You know what I mean? It's super cheap, and I just thought, fuck it, it's easy. They can play their archery and all that stuff, and they'll love it. But I'm not debating it's a bad system for that. But the fact is, like, I would never buy a Wii myself to play. I think that was one of the main issues that they had. And the last numbers that I looked for Nintendo is that they've been losing money through the Wii U. And obviously, regardless of if it's picking up, and it is picking up as I've seen, it was not nearly as successful as they hoped it would be. And that was the big issue. So the idea is that they could end up launching another console already. Where they would go with it, I don't know. They'll probably have to make it way more game orientated. One of the interviews I heard, and I don't know if you saw this, was from, I think it was from Bethesda. Now, I can't say if this is for sure. It could be someone else, so I apologise. But regardless, it was one of the big third-party developers, and he basically slammed Nintendo for when they were trying to get games on their system. Nintendo were very much like, well, this is our system. You just kind of get used to it. Whereas PlayStation and Microsoft were very much like, okay, here's the specs for our console. We want to help you make games for our console. And Nintendo's like, fuck you, we got Mario.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. I mean, like Nintendo, like do have a habit of leaning on things like Nintendo, like Super Mario, and like Mario themed games and Smash Brothers to carry them through everything.
Yeah.
And that's not enough these days. Like your console is selling shit because you make games for kids. I mean, admittedly, I like Smash Bros. Smash Bros is fun as hell.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go out of my way to buy the console for Smash Bros. Like I went out of my way to buy an Xbox One for Halo.
Yeah.
Or like kind of like they don't have the tie-in factor that other bigger games do that sell other consoles. So you're relying on these like small titles that like they only get bought by adults, either like a gimmicky machine for their kids, or they're just like super nostalgic about Mario, and they just have to have the new Mario game.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to fucking sell a console.
Yeah. Like, I know one of the big issues I think Nintendo didn't want a lot of third-party support is because they were afraid of having a lot of, we've seen it for some of the other consoles. Hell, I've even seen it for the Wii and Wii U, so I don't know what they're talking about, but I did see an interview of one of them, like, they were afraid of having tons of shovelware, which just weighs down, like, getting loads of basically shit games, and it makes, it makes it look like a bad console. But you just kind of, I don't think you should be so worrisome about that. Like, why should you shut the door for third-party developers? Because they could make a lot of shit games. Well, I would take that risk if they come out with a couple of gems that sells your console.
That's a really backwards mentality. That's just like saying, I'm not going to eat this bag of nuts because some of those nuts might be bad for me. I might choke on one of those nuts.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
Well, it's not like they have to publish every game that gets brought to them.
No,
it's like it's entirely down to them what game, because like anyone who makes a game has to then take that game to like whatever console they want it released on, and go, can we release this on your console? And then the console, and then whoever's heading up the console will say, yeah, maybe not, maybe we'll give this one a miss, or or if it's like a real like good like gem like Battlefield was for a while, and like Halo has been. Well, like Microsoft took a look at it and thought this might be really good, so you can release it on the PC and the Xbox.
Or if it's so good, you
only
get it for exclusive. Like
yeah, but it has to be an exclusive. And I just don't see why Nintendo are like just so against it. It's like, yeah, you're probably going to get some shit games. I mean, what, the PlayStation and the Xbox have had some fucking abysmal titles.
Some of
Look at the PS2. That had the biggest third-party support market you could ever find, and arguably it's one of the most successful game consoles.
I think it is. I think it is the most successful game console ever made.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation 2, no doubt. I mean, like, everyone fucking had a PlayStation 2 at one point. I had one for years. In fact, I've got like one of the first.
They still have a PS2.
Yeah, because there's some amazing games for it. I think like back when like I want to say the console wars happened, they think of the Mega Drive against the SNES or stuff like that. That's the first one. People don't think of Xbox original against PS2 as being a war. If so, it was fucking one-sided.
Yeah, because PlayStation just fucking clean cats, didn't it? It was just like, oh, fuck you, Xbox, just sell.
It was only when PlayStation started getting a little bit mucky and they were like, oh, the PS3 is an entertainment machine, and they tried to do all that sort of crap. And then like the Xbox 360 came out, had all these fresh ideas like achievements and tracking your games, and the Xbox in the arcade section, so you could download stuff there. That then there was a proper war on between the two.
The Xbox 360 really fucking stayed Microsoft.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, thank God we don't have to just stop making consoles anymore. We have a new stream of revenue. Yay!
Yeah. So you could say that it was just Sony's kind of laziness in terms of the PS3. And the PS3 is still a great machine. I'm not saying it's a crap machine. It's just the fact is that they got caught with their pants down, I think, because there was a lot of stuff that Xbox brought to the table, and Sony and PlayStation were like, oh, we can't have parties that have multiple players on chat, but the Xbox does. Oh, the Xbox can have multiple people chatting online while playing different games in a party chat. We can't do two people on different games. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's strange. So yeah, that was the way that goes for it. But yeah, I don't want this to sound bad. I don't want to say I'm like a slamming Nintendo, but no, I'm not interested in a new console from them. But I'm sure that if they did it probably would be. It can't get much worse than the Wii U, I'd say.
Yeah. That's the problem with the Wii U. There's no fun games for adults. I mean, as I said earlier, yes, there's Smash Bros. I will not.
You got Bayonetta 2, which
you do have the token adult serious game on there, but they're not good games.
Yeah, but they're not enough to buy a console.
They're not good. Yeah, it's just like the whole Wii has just been like a gimmick machine from like second one, and they've tried to do things with it. They tried to make like adult Wii games, just ended up being a bit shit. Mm-hmm. So so Nintendo is saying, oh, we don't want shit games brought in from third parties. Nintendo, most of your games are pretty shit too, man.
Some of the ones you release aren't as funky fresh, shall we say.
How many of those Sonic games recently have just been absolute tripe?
Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom!
Sonic Boom!
Sonic Take
was it?
Sonic... Oh, no, yeah, I think it's on the Wii U, Sonic Boom, yeah.
Is it?
But I'll tell you what, if it is, I'm going to imagine Nintendo probably want it off now, considering that game
was broken.
Was just a gigantic pile of steamy poo. Things were getting so much better. I played Sonic Generations, and I fucking loved Sonic Generations. And I was like, oh, they're doing Sonic 4. It's going to be side-scrolling. I didn't play much. I played like the first episode, and I was like, it's pretty good, And then suddenly it's like, oh, they're on the right track. Maybe if they can put all this stuff... Oh, no, they brought out Sonic Boom. Everything's fucked.
Yeah, it seems like kind of like
I'm wondering if Sonic's going to survive that now.
I doubt it. Jesus Christ!
I think that IP is a bit dead now. But like that game really annoyed me on the level that because I watched the Game Grumps play the whole thing all the way through, just marveling at all just the clusterfuck mess that the
bounce
game is.
Pad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bounce pad.
Bounce pad.
Look, everyone! It's a bounce pad. Bounce pad. Oh god!
But, the game shows glimmers of something good, and it shows a glimpse of a good idea, but gets it so wrong, and it's just there's Like it wants to be like free roam open world, but it's not. It wants to be a town builder, but it's not. It wants to be an action game, but it's not. It wants to be a fighting game, but it's not. It wants to be a puzzle game, but it's not. It's like it wants to be all these different things, and it's like,
Jack of all trades, master of fuck all.
yeah.
It's like basically a kid basically putting on different used nappies. It's like all of them just smell as bad as the rest. None of them are fine. You're not impressing me, child.
That's a colourful analogy. Right
It
there.
is, isn't it? Yeah. When I'm talking about big part of shit, I thought I'd add, dirty diapers in there in the mix as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, quite a lot of IPs like that have got like really bad games released around them. I mean, to be fair, there's been a lot of like really abysmal Mario games as well. Or, like,
I think the thing about Mario's is that like the ratio of good games to bad is far better than Sonic. Like Sonic at the moment is like Sonic Generations was like an aberration because it was something that was fantastic. It was like it was away from the norm. It was different, and then suddenly, literally straight away, it was like, oh, Sonic Boom, Rise of the Lyric. Here you
it's
go.
like Sonic's 06 was just as bad as well. It's like I want the
it's
game
a species love, a hedgehog and a woman.
Yeah,
what are they thinking?
That was just downright unsettling.
That was really weird. It's like kind of like the cutscenes themselves actually look quite good, even if Sonic and Dr. Eggman are a little bit too photorealistic for my liking.
Yeah.
But the cutscenes themselves are like Final Fantasy-esque. I mean, I thought they were playing a Final Fantasy game because I watched the Game Grumps play that one all the way through again because John Tron playing that game is the most fucking entertaining thing on the face of the planet. Just because every single second he's like, what? But yeah, it's just like, and then it counteracts all these pretty, quite nicely done pre-rendered cutscenes with just a fucking horrible looking like in-game environment. Nothing looks right. Everything looks blocky. The color palettes are absolute shit. Everything repeats too often. Sonic looks like he's been shit out of a fucking. It just shit out of something horrible. I can't even come up with an appropriate thing that's horrible enough for him to be shit out of, but it's close. It's just like it's just it's bad, and then Shadow the Hedgehog as well.
Oh God!
See, I want to
Sonic with guns.
I fucking had fun with that because it wasn't Sonic, it was Shadow, and Shadow's kind of cool. I actually quite liked that game when I played it. I had fun.
There's
with
a great.
Yes, it was janky, and it had some camera issues. The controls were janky as fuck. The story made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, but it was fun, and you got to be like Shadow running around with like rocket boots shooting guns everywhere.
I know that Brutal Moose did a video on Shadow, and it's quite entertaining. But yeah, it's like the thing is like Sonic I think has an issue where it takes itself too seriously, and they're trying to build on like a franchise that is just like they're trying to build on something that they think is a success, and it's like. Yeah. But it's not. It's like you've done a lot of bad games.
Yeah, but with the way the Sonic world is constructed, that's hard to turn into like a 3D thing.
Yeah.
Because it is built around like kind of 2D side-scroller movement. Mario's
but they've
a
done
little
it
bit easier because you can turn him into a 3D environment.
Sonic Adventure was a great 3D open world game. They've done it before, but then every now and then they're like, okay, let's do it again, and then suddenly it's like, how could you get this so blatantly wrong? I know that Sonic Adventure was buggy, but it was still good. It was like it's relatively known by everyone, but it was a good open world Sonic game. So they obviously know how to make it. They just don't keep doing it.
Nintendo really dropped the ball on quite a lot of Sonic. Bless him.
Well, Sega dropped the ball in him, but yeah. Sonic, that turned into a thing. I love that Sonic 06 and now obviously Sonic Boom is just going to have a legacy for all the wrong reasons. Like everyone's going to know it as being that game that was just fucking horrific.
It's like playing it was just fucking torture. I mean, I'm sitting there watching the Game Grumps play Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom thinking, I'm really fucking glad I'm not playing this.
Bounce pads, everyone. See, who needs jetpacks when you've got bounce pads?
Bounce pads?
Yeah, everyone needs a bounce pad. Talking of bounce pads, no, that's not a really good. Wow, that's not even a good segue. What am I doing? Am I getting tired? I'm completely messed up. Anyway, let's continue. You guys know Jim Sterling. You must do. With the Slaughtering Grounds takedown notice stuff that he had done A couple of months ago, I think roughly around about Christmas time, that all started.
Oh.
Chris, do you know about this, or shall I explain?
Explain it a bit because I'm not too up on it.
Okay, Jim Sterling, who is a games journalist, he now does his own YouTube channel. I think he's like independent now, so he just does that. But he's
the Jimquisition.
Yeah,
Very clever name. I love it.
Yeah, and his videos are I find are very he's a lot like Total Biscuit, where he's got a good knowledge of games industry, and he's very much consumer he's very much consumer defending. So like if which I do enjoy watching their videos. But the thing is that he goes on and reviews a lot of the games that get put on Steam, and as we know, a lot of the stuff nowadays that get put on Steam can sometimes be gigantic piles of shit. There was a huge like foray of like all these like Japanese big-titted girl games. Do you remember that? We talked about that a little bit. Like, it's a story. It might be like a puzzle game, but you've constantly got a girl there with like a really low cut top and her boobs are just bouncing.
A bit like Sakura Spirit.
Yeah, like you know what I mean.
Trying to chat up anime broads with Bejeweled.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Like, there was tons of them. They all came at, like, the same time. It was like the floodgates opened, and sometimes every now and then, there's just, like, a huge...
Overwhelming anime!
Yeah!
God.
And everyone suddenly had one of these games that were just putting up on Steam. So he reviews all these games, and obviously a lot of them are really, really bad, right?
To be fair, he doesn't even review some of them. He just takes a... first impressions.
Yeah, a video, right? Yeah, he just does a video. With the Slaughtering Grounds, which is the first one he got in big trouble. Well, he did get in big trouble for. Basically, he got issued a takedown notice, which, as you know, Chris, isn't like you've used this music, so you can't monetize it. That's different.
Yeah.
A takedown notice is a strike on your account, and 3 of them, your account's done.
Yeah, that's bad.
Deleted.
You don't want none of them.
Yeah, and that way all your videos are on hold. You can't get any revenue, and obviously for a guy who makes his money through YouTube, that's pretty fucking important, to have your account in good standing.
That means you've really fucked someone off.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, he pissed someone off, obviously the makers of Slaughtering Grounds. Digital Homicide, I think, were the publisher of it.
That's the one.
And they issued a takedown notice, but obviously they did so, and the law was definitely not on their side, right? And I think his video's back up now because it didn't go to court. There was this big whole thing where the developer was like really shady stuff. I won't go through all of it there now because obviously I'm going through the whole
basically,
thing.
they were adamant that they were going to take Jim Sterling to court and they would win. Oh, what was it? What was it? Because
Jim fucking Sterling, son.
Definition of the word, because he used a particular word.
He said the game was a failure. And
first impressions.
Yeah. He said the game was a failure, and apparently, according to law, you can't do that, even though he can. It's fine.
Yeah. Freedom of speech, bitches.
Yeah.
You make a shit game, be prepared to get called out for it.
The fact is, like, maybe there is a law that does it for games journalists, but he's not paid to review them. He's got a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? And like, it was like, he hasn't got the right to make revenue off his game. Well, he did a first impressions. He's well within the law to do so. And like, for someone that's been doing it this long, it's fine. And like I said, I think one of the best things that was said about it was Total Biscuit said, well, Jim Sterling, he works for Polaris. Do you know who owns Polaris? Disney. Good luck suing Mickey Mouse. He ain't got time for your shit. Right?
Yeah.
And essentially, it happened again. So this is the news story. He did a video on like this just crazy trailer video for a game that's on Steam Greenlight, which was like skateboard rescue fucking bollocks. It's a fucking shit game. Watch it. It's got about 2 FPS on its trailer. Right?
Wow. Yeah.
It's horrendous, right? And the video's down now. It will be back up in a few times because they basically did the notice. They stated that someone needs to shut up Jim Sterling, which I hope no one does because I genuinely don't think
you will never get Jim to shut up.
Yeah. You'll find a way.
And unlike Peter Molyneux, he doesn't need to shut up. He needs to keep talking. Peter Molyneux does need to keep his mouth shut for the benefit of his own company.
Yeah.
But
we love Peter Molyneux. Well, I say we love Peter Molyneux. We respect Peter Molyneux. We just think he needs to
quieten down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let his work speak for itself.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Let his genius, undoubtedly genius, let that speak for itself when the final thing comes. But so basically, when this was done, it was I think it was like a Vietnamese developer, and obviously, I'm not saying all Vietnamese developers can't make good games, but they in broken English they stated, someone needs to shut him up and something like this and something like that. Apparently, they admitted that they know that this is bullshit. They can't do it, but they did it, and they know it's going to get wiped in like 14 days. Which I think
they did it for the sake of doing it, really.
Yeah, they did it because obviously it garnered a lot of negative press. And I think as soon as you do this, right, as soon as you do this, especially to an outspoken, and I would state respected among his fans and, with journalists, maybe not respected by developers because he calls them their shit out a lot, right? But respected by consumers, which are the people who buy video games, right? That if you try and fight him and get the video removed for no good reason, that is video game suicide.
Yeah.
Done. You've got
Career
no
suicide.
chance. Yeah.
Well, say Gary. What was that?
Gary's
Instant. They did that with Total Biscuit, and they effectively died overnight.
And they tried to defend themselves, but they know they didn't have a fucking leg to stand on, especially when the game is that fucking shocking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of...
This pisses me off about game developers these days. They think just because they make a game, they deserve to get money. No, I'm sorry. If you're game developer, like kind of even the smallest like person in his basement with access to the most basic like RPG maker can make a decent game that deserves to get greenlit.
To the
just
moon.
Because you get access, to the moon, for instance. Yeah. Fucking brilliant game, really well done, really well thought out, and a touching piece of gaming.
Yeah.
And then you get bullshit with people who spend loads of money on the really expensive like creator kits you can get on Steam, make something that's absolute bullshit, and expect to earn a packet off it, and then get shitty with people when they call them out.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, but you made the game.
Yeah.
Can you not see that it's shit?
Yeah. Like, if you've got any love for games development, like the Slaughtering Grounds, let's talk about Slaughtering Grounds. That game is a gigantic piece of turd, right? Everyone who watches it knows it. If it doesn't have proper level design, if you can't code different types of ammo for the guns that you can pick up, then your game is fundamentally fucking flawed, and all the blood splatter effects still have the white edges because it was taken off Google Images. Sorry, I'm not paid to do like videos. I can edit better than that, right?
Yeah.
Right, and the fact is that when you do stuff like that, and they have pride, or I hope they have pride in their work, and they maybe try to get this out in a quick buck. I just don't understand. If they think that was a worthy enough game to put out on the market, then they shouldn't be developing video games.
Yeah, it's like you need to just like switch your computer off and step away from it for the rest of the
time. Get a bit of perspective,
Yeah. It's like just because you made a game doesn't mean you automatically deserve to get money. It's like, no, you need to make like 20 years ago, you might have fucking gotten away with it, and you might have got a bit of money before word leaked out about how shit your product is.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can't fucking get away with it. If your game is shit, it is known across the internet within about a day, maybe even less.
Yeah, probably about, I'd say with a lot of people that, especially, subscribers of Jim Sterling, like he does these things, he will do it, he'll get it up, and then literally in about, 12 hours of that video being released, if it's got negative stigma to it, then it's already there. It's out there. It's done.
Yeah, exactly.
And like all that stuff will sift into the Steam store. You'll have like massive negative reviews because people are gonna be like, "This game is a gigantic fucking insult."
Yeah. And I feel sorry for Steam in all this actually, because
I don't.
No, I feel sorry for Steam in all this because Steam Greenlight is a good idea. It's a good idea for like game developers who haven't got a lot of money to get some extra cash to get their product rolling. And there have been some really fucking good projects that have come out of Steam Greenlight. But unfortunately, everyone's seen these products come out of that and gone, oh, I can make a quick buck making some really half-made piece of shit. I can make some quick money out of it. And now Steam have got all this shit lumped on them with people saying, oh, it's your fault for allowing this. It's like, but
the thing is, and I'll explain.
It's not our fault that people make shit games.
Right, here's the thing, right? That like it is Steam's fault, and I'll try and explain the best way that I can, right? That they started the Steam Greenlight. They don't at all at any time monitor it, right? It's all automatic, right? And basically what will happen is that let's say developers want to get their stuff on Steam Greenlight, greenlit and put up onto the Steam store, which, by the way, no one at Steam plays those games, right? It's not monitored, okay? They don't even touch that shit. Basically, what a lot of developers will do, and I've seen this tons of times, I've seen it with a game that I had on Xbox and they tried to port it over, right? Is that they will offer free copies of the game if they vote for it on Greenlight.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Because people just want free games, right? It might be a good game, all this lot. So they get all these free copies of these games. Obviously, people are fucking, pushing forward for it to get greenlit. It gets greenlit, gets put onto the main marketplace for money. Yeah, so people might, naturally be thinking, well, it's on the on the actual Steam page, right? So it should be somewhat quality controlled, and it's obviously not, because Steam don't quality control it. So then people buy it and they're like, wait a minute, it's a gigantic piece of shit. So it is Steam's fault because they don't quality control it themselves.
No, that's
Yeah,
not Steam's
yeah,
fault
absolutely.
whatsoever.
Because
That's
it's their
idiot
system.
consumers.
They
No,
made the greenlight
that's an
system that
idiot
way.
consumer issue. That's people not bothering to
No.
look into the shit that they're buying and just blindly buying it out of greed for a free game.
No.
That's not Steam's fault whatsoever. If you're
It is
not
Steam's
paying
fault.
attention to what you're backing, the product you get is your own fucking fault.
Because-
it's a shit
no.
product that you're getting because you haven't bothered to look into it because it's like, oh, free game. I can just do this and get a free game. If that end game is then shit, that is your fault for not doing the proper backing.
No, here's the
no
thing.
way their fault.
Here's where you're wrong, right? Those people doing that, obviously, they could say they're greedy or trying to get a free game and everything, right? So you could put the blame on them, right? But the fact is that Steam, it's their storefront. They're responsible ultimately for what goes up on their main page. Ultimately, right? They set up the Greenlight service, right? And the system that it runs under, right? So they've set all this up. They set up the profile. If anything gets onto their main page, it's not without Steam's setup that makes it happen. So when it goes up on there and someone buys it, right? Because people expect then, with your frame of thought, that if it gets onto the main page, it should be at very least serviceable. And there's been a couple of games that, as we found out, just aren't, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of Steam's broken system that those things manage to get onto the main store line. So it is Steam's fault. Outright it's Steam's fault for making that system, for making a system where they don't have to quality control the games that go onto their marketplace. So it is their fault. That's my opinion on it. At the end of the day, like, you could say, oh, it's these people thought that they're just getting free games, so they're pushing it through Steam Greenlight. I would argue, well, it's Steam's system that allows that to happen. They chose it to be this way, and they haven't amended it. So that's
because
that's
then it completely they don't take any responsibility. I mean, say if Steam did get involved in the process and a game did get greenlit because obviously free copies were offered, Steam then took a look at it and then decided not to let it through Greenlight, they'd have legal backlash.
No.
No. People have voted for this. You have to now greenlight it.
No, you don't have to at all, because at the end of the day, you've quality controlled it, and
yeah, they would. They get backlash from everyone that would be expecting a free game.
They would still get the free game. That's not how Greenlight works.
No,
the fact is that
that's not how it works now. I'm saying if they actually took a quality control step into it to look at these games before they approve them for the main page, and then they decided not to approve these games because, as you say, they're fundamentally...
But they have to protect their consumers. They absolutely have to.
Yeah,
like, the fact is that you look at some of the horrible
backlash
games.
from people expecting a free game.
But that's the people expecting a free game. That, at the end of the day, right, you can't defend them and attack them at the same time. So you can't say, well, because they're the ones that are stating, okay, we're going to greenlight it just because we're getting a free game, not because we like the idea of it, right? So they've got no right to be pissy in that sense, because they're just saying, oh, we just want it for free.
Yeah, they have no right, but you know for a fact they will.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
On the internet, they'll still get backlash from it.
It doesn't matter. You've got to protect your consumer. I don't care how much backlash you get off of it. You need to protect your consumers, because they're not paying for it. People who thinking that the game is at least quality controlled are paying for it. Look at the whole War Z stuff. When that was first brought out, the game didn't work.
Oh no, yeah, I tried playing that.
You know what I mean? Eventually that did get taken down because of all of the backlash out of it. But Steam should have looked at it first off and been like, "This game doesn't fucking work. It's a fucking travesty. It's a copy, and it doesn't even work then. And all the legal documents have been copied from League of Legends. Someone should have stepped in before that actually happened." So Steam are ultimately 100% responsible for what ends up on their store pages. And if it's something that's completely unworkable or unbreakable, the blame falls on them. Absolutely, it blames on them, because they made the system for it allowing to be there. To be honest, what they should probably do is I think they should get rid of Greenlight. It's been too many. I know a lot of games are good to get on there. Or maybe try and get your stuff going through stuff like GOG, where you can't get stuff for free there. You have to make a price on it, and then people then can review you and rip you to shreds. And fair enough, then it's down to them.
What they could do to keep Greenlight is actually have a set of specifications your game has to meet before you can get it greenlit, or before you can apply for Greenlight, where you have to send like a demo or just a tech demo to Steam to show the game. Then they have a look at it and say, okay, this is actually something that's had some thought put into it. You can now greenlight it.
Yeah, and it's like some of this stuff as well. It's like Like that goes into the whole early access stuff, and we talked about that a lot in the Easy episode. There's issues with the early access as well.
Oh yeah, there is as well. That's terrible. Yeah, I never buy early access shit unless it's from a developer that I trust to actually produce a half decent game.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, anyway, like I said, we've both got our opinions, and I'm sure other people are divided as well. What do you think, Tom, roughly on it? I know you've been quiet throughout all this, so.
No, believe me, I've had my mouth open, ready to cut across. But
Okay, go on.
I don't want to interrupt too much
Go on.
because I get scolded for that.
You won't get scolded. Go on. Good saying it.
No, seriously, Haley does give me such foul looks when I do it. Around her.
It goes into a rant.
There's not so much going in around. It's just cutting across people, trying to get my point without letting someone express theirs. Anyway. I would agree. I'm half and half because, on the one hand, yes, it's a despicable practice for a developer to just say, "Greenlit a game, we'll give you a free copy." You can't really blame Steam for that, can you? Unless they could just stop that practice. Say if a developer does employ that, they should be like, Steam should turn around and say, "No, you can't bribe." For green lights.
It's quite hard to monitor that though, isn't it? Because like a lot of it do through like their Facebook or their Twitter or stuff, and then like you get
that's difficult. Yeah. I mean that was my point that I was trying to get across. That like it's difficult to blame Steam for like basic human greed.
Oh yeah.
But then I would say that when a product is, but I would agree with Tony. When a product is greenlit, someone from Steam does need to at least inspect.
Yeah.
The product they're doing. Maybe if to continue for a developer to properly greenlit, they need to outline for Steam what their features are planned, what they plan to do, how much money not even how much money, just what they're promising, and they will send a demo and then the final product to Steam to say, this is what we've got now. What do you think? Does this meet your expectations?
In
Steam
fact,
said, yes, you meet all these feature requirements, and in fact, you've gone up and beyond. We'd be happy to sell this, or you've barely met any of these. This game is. We can't get through it. No.
Like the game itself is actually broken. Yeah.
I mean, there's one thing they can do that will cost them not a single penny, but would be a really good control measure. They send out a massive message to everyone on Steam saying we're holding trials for free game testers. Because I guarantee there's about a bajillion people on Steam that would trial games for nothing.
Yeah.
And it'd say, okay, we've got a tech demo, we've got a game demo for something, for a project that wants to be greenlit. Here's the game, play it for an hour, let us know if it's absolute bollocks or not.
Because
they just send it out to about 1,000 people. You have 1,000 reviews of whether this game should be greenlit or not.
Yeah, like like one of the things that like I actually quite like that idea because they've got a system in place already that roughly does that. Steam gives you free weekends of games, so you've got a certain amount of time to play that game before it's taken off your Steam account. No, I've had tons of times. Like Tropico was like free over the last weekend, so you can make it so we release it and it's like you can test play it over like a like a 3 hour period, because obviously you don't want to make it too long because then people might play the game and then that indie game never gets bought because people that would test it have already bought it. But then at very then you've got a couple of people that can leave reviews onto it and say, well, actually the game for as long as I played it worked for this period of time. Yeah. And there is going to be a game that maybe 10 hours down the line something breaks in it, but I'd argue that, I mean, there's some games that have been released now, like you had that airport control game, like that got onto Steam. How the fuck that got onto Steam, I have no clue whatsoever.
Yeah, but see, even that would be a really good process for the developers themselves.
Yes.
Because Steam could take that back to the developers and say, okay, this looks good, but there's this issue, that issue, and that issue, and a developer can then go, oh shit. And like that might be something like the developer misses because like developers do miss shit in games sometimes, which is what causes bugs.
Yeah.
So they look and go, oh shit, I didn't catch that. I can now amend that. My game is now better.
It's like a way of having like a Steam Greenlight alpha sort of thing. So basically, you're forcing an alpha onto games that don't have proper publishing rights, just to make sure that everything's working spick and span. Yeah. And if they are, fuck it, then it's on the store page, no problems at all.
If like kind of Angry Joe has pointed this out loads of times with like even the bigger game developer studios when they've released like really shitty, buggy games that just haven't worked and haven't been thought through. It's just like this doesn't look like it's been like beta tested at all, or it doesn't look like it's been play tested. Why? There are people who will play your shit for absolutely fucking nothing just so they can play it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
that's
personally, I'd fucking do it. I mean, like, kind of, if Steam started doing this and like, kind of, like they picked like say random people out of Steam that have like a certain amount of games or a certain type of games in their library, and just sent you just like an hour's worth of demo footage, or like an hour's worth of like halfway playable demo, just as like a tech demo for the game. I'd play that, and then they just ask you for a paragraph, 2 paragraphs of review at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd fucking do that. You do that. We'd all fucking do it.
Like, I don't have a problem with like bad games being put on Steam because it's all opinionated. So I fucking hate those like I said, those Japanese anime games. I find them just really stupid.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you know what? There's a market for them. So some people do like them.
Yeah.
But the issue I have is broken games being put onto the market, and there has been a few put on there. So if you do the situation that you're saying, it won't take long for those testers to go, this game's fucking broken. It doesn't work. So you can't release it on the store page, and then it's just like, okay, well, the developers then have to fix it or stuff like that.
And that will put a stop to all like the quick money grubbing bullshit that's coming out on Greenlight, because those developers will go, oh fuck no, it's just not worth the fucking effort. But the developers actually care about their games and want to make a decent game, will put the extra effort in, and they'll actually make a better game because they'll realise that there's shit they haven't noticed that's broken with their game, or maybe one of the testers will say, oh, this is good, but maybe you can do it this way instead. The developer will go, oh shit, that's actually better, I'll do that. Because, getting an outside perspective on your game is a good thing.
It's a way also of getting indie developers much needed, because I mean it's harder for them to be able to get beta testers because you don't have the money of a publisher being held.
Yeah, I mean usually it's like their mates that beta test the games, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean there's only so much that can take you. You need you need unbiased eyes. You need a lot of them as well to have a look and say, okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean I'd say as I said, like at least 1,000, maybe 2,000 like reviews. And then like maybe have a system to like either, well, obviously not one person that reads the whole thing, but maybe like a team of people that go through the reviews and then like correlate whether they were good or bad or not. Maybe pick out recurring points or like recurring errors that happen.
Okay, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Steam already has a system where you can like and dislike reviews. So you take the 5 most negative reviews that have been liked, the 5 most positive reviews that have been liked, do a correlation, and see if anything involves, like, some of it might be, oh, the game itself is awful. That's not the stuff they need to be interested in. If it's negative because the game mechanics are fundamentally broken, then someone from Steam needs to go, okay, I'm going to install this on my computer and see if it fucking works, because if it doesn't, then that's not getting on our storefront. Then then you've got it all for you. So it's a good idea. I don't know if Steam would do it because they seem to just like the way it is at the moment, unfortunately. So
I don't know if it's so much like, but it's just they're in this position and they're not getting around to do anything yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, for all we know, Steam might be working a way around it. For all we know, but that's our recommendation.
Or maybe people from Steam have been diverted to Valve to try and work on the next Half-Life game.
Which apparently they haven't.
The next Portal game, just a number 3 game. Gabe, please, for the love of Christ, above us.
I honestly
think he's having loads of fun trolling the entire gaming community, just like teasing it in front of us every so often, like maybe it's coming, or maybe not.
Or was it
as long as he doesn't do a George R.R. Martin and die before it's finished.
Well, there's 3 of us in this podcast, so that's Half-Life 3 has been confirmed, because there's 3 of us on the podcast this week.
Half-Life 3 confirmed!
I honestly thought, because they did the big announcement, and they were talking about, they're getting like the new Steam controller, the Steam OS, and they're doing like these Steam machines.
All that really fancy shit that looks really
I honestly thought their big announcement was, okay, just a big number 3, you know what, we're doing Half-Life 3, we're doing Team Fortress 3, we're doing Left 4 Dead 3. We're doing Portal 3, and it's all going to be in one big ass pack that everyone's going to play. And it's going to be like the most ultimate.
That would be fucking awesome.
It literally be like the most ultimate pack of games, just there for you.
And they put it just for the Steam machine.
Yeah. And exactly. But they didn't do that. I thought, what a way to promote their. I mean, what a launch lineup for their own Steam machines to say, okay, if you buy a Steam machine because we really want all these Steam machines to be in your front room, then you get all these games on there as base. I know that's throwing a lot of money. You've got to make 4 phenomenal games to build it around that. But what if they really
That
are
would have a more
serious?
successful lineup than any console in the history of man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
And it will already have your Steam game list. Technically, then you've got your launch up is whatever games you've got on your Steam list as well.
Plus the Steam
I say
machine.
help. Just put Half-Life 3. That's a greater incentive for me than either the Xbox or the PS4.
Yeah, it's like buy a Steam machine. You will only be able to play Half-Life 3 on it.
Yeah.
That's enough for me.
Yeah. And then suddenly the next day, monumental pre-orders for the Steam machines are in, and
it's like Xbox One and PlayStation fail overnight.
close their doors. They've gone bankrupt.
eclipses Microsoft and Sony combined, and they just become the new gaming masters of the universe.
They just absorb PlayStation and Xbox One and they assimilate it.
Yeah, exactly. Valve buys out Microsoft and Sony, and they leave Nintendo to do their thing, whatever they want to do, because no one buys their consoles anyway.
If you see kind of just the sheer amount of games you get with the fucking Steam machines, especially like the really high end ones, I think I saw
right?
390 games pre-installed. I was like,
how long will it take either the PS3 or the Xbox to get 360 even to get that many games on their system?
Yeah, there aren't even that many games available on both systems, let alone one one on its own.
I say on the current gens, you don't have that many games at all. Not even half that number, I bet, between them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. On the next gen, there aren't any I don't think there's even 150 games for both consoles combined. Especially for next gen titles as well, because especially for the Xbox. Actually, I'm not going to count the PlayStation in this, because you can play PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 and sometimes PlayStation 1 games on the PS4. Xbox, don't know why the fuck you've done this. It was an extremely stupid move. You can't play Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One.
Oh, what a stupid
idea
that was.
And it has fucking infuriated the absolute shit out of me, because I have a gigantic library of Xbox 360 games that I really fucking enjoy, and I spent years collecting, and they're now fucking useless to me. So thanks, Xbox. I now can't play any of them.
Fuck you, Xbox.
Maybe you should get that 360, Tony. Chris.
Yeah. See,
just so you can play old games and you can play GTA with us.
Yeah, see, I really wish I'd kept it now, because I sold it so I could buy some really decent, or what I thought would be decent Xbox games for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And now I just wish I kept it so I could play some of the ones I've got for the 360. Because I'm sorry, most of the Xbox One lineup has been an absolute fucking disappointment to me. I mean, you can get
1886.
That's a PS4
an article for that, and it was basically promised to be a co-op game that was basically a steampunk Left 4 Dead. Do you have any idea how excited I was for that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a PS4 exclusive, but I have seen Angry Joe's review on it. I have to say, I was really disappointed with that game.
6 to 7 hours. 5 years of development for 6 to 7 hours.
Oh, yeah, and that's bad. And then hopefully Bloodborne ends up being better and can save the PlayStation, because both the PlayStation and the Xbox needs its Bloodborne.
Yeah,
because Bloodborne looks fucking fantastic.
They are getting Rise of the Tomb Raider though as a timed exclusive, and I want to play the shit out of that game.
I've seen bits of it, but I'm just wondering, I really hope they don't go how the old Tomb Raiders went, which was one really good game and then a lot of really fucking shit ones.
No, all they need to do, literally, I would be fine, and I'm not fine for a lot of games doing this because I'm not against repetition, but the reboot game to Tomb Raider 13, 2013, was that good. Then literally all I want is the game mechanics that were in that, just on a brand new fucking island. Just let me do it, because I thought that game was just fucking amazing.
I've got it for the Xbox One. It is amazing.
What a game.
The controls are much tighter, the AI is much smarter, hunting's better.
The story was brilliant. I love the story in it.
The visuals in it on the Xbox One are just fucking beautiful. And everything's awesome. I mean, I didn't finish the game on the Xbox 360 because I borrowed it off a friend and I had to give it back before I completed it. But I managed to complete it on the Xbox One. And the final fight in the Xbox One, where you're fucking fighting your way through those dudes on the side, and there's that whole boom, bit at the end. That looks fucking brilliant.
Oh, the awesome moment. Spoilers, obviously. The spoilers there where you shoot the final guy and you do it using the second weapon. It's the first time you see her with her signature dual pistols. And she's just standing there all badass. You're like, yeah, it's fucking
That was one thing I
right
hated about that game. For the whole game, they tease you with the signature pistols. They come in close proximity to each other, but then you give one to someone else, or Roth takes one, or like kind of you give one to someone else again. It's like, fucking keep the pistols, signature pistols, bitch.
Yeah, literally, I think Rise of the Tomb Raider will be brilliant as long as they just follow the core philosophies in the new one. Yeah, I tell you what. Talking because the Tomb Raider 2013 was actually free on Xbox 360 Games with Gold in the first half of this month. The second half of the month has been BioShock Infinite. Have you guys ever played BioShock Infinite?
Yes.
I haven't, but it looks fucking awesome.
Have you completed it, Tom?
Yes, I have.
What?
I still don't even know what the hell happened at the end.
I know what happened at the end. Because it took me a couple of days, and I literally pen and paper. I was like, okay, I'm piecing this shit together.
Yeah.
It is one of the most crazy endings that is also awesome at the same time.
I tried to piece it together in my head, but then all I could smell was copper. So I
won't do any spoilers, obviously, for Chris and other people here. But just know that if you got an Xbox 360, download BioShock Infinite because it is a badass game. Good gunplay. A lot of people said the gunplay and it wasn't that good, but I thought it was.
I enjoyed it.
Stuff. Yeah. And man,
it's got Rayman Legends on the Xbox One for free. It's it's something. Well, there's two. There's something called a #iDarb, which is actually a really fun kind of pixel football throwing explosion type game.
Yeah.
It's fucking insanity. And it's so much fun. And then Rayman Legends, which is fucking awesome because it takes me back to my childhood playing Rayman. It's I fucking love Rayman. Why have I waited to play this?
Do you know what's cool about Do you know what's cool about Rayman? Right, that I like. Yeah. You know, I'm all about gender equality and all that stuff, as we all are here. Is that Rayman is one of the first big names in that time. I mean, he's been a character for a long time in gaming now, Rayman. To be designed and created by women.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. I love Rayman just because he moves so well in Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends controls better than Telion from fucking Shadow of Mordor.
I know Matt wants to back and forth with you on an episode talking about that.
Get him on an episode. I will argue why Talion is the most shittiest fucker I have ever controlled in a game. See, I don't know whether it's honestly, it might be my controller, it might be my Xbox, or it might be the fact that it's Xbox One versus Xbox 360, but oh my god, is that fucker difficult to control. Oh, I'm going to hide in a bush. Oh no, wait, I'm Talion. I can magically throw 3 extra feet right into the eyesight of 20 orcs. But when you're fighting those orcs, I'm not going to pay attention to your button presses. I'm going to wait half a second between when you press the counter button and when I actually do the counter, so I get hacked in the back of the head by a fucking orc.
And which is obviously quite fun. Being hacked in the back of the head.
All the work. I very nearly lost my shit and put a fist through my fucking Xbox the other. I was playing Shadow of Mordor. I shit you not, 2 hours annihilating everyone on the Nemesis board. Hunting down fucking sneaks, finding out their weaknesses. I then systematically took them all out, including all the war chiefs, so only fucking rat bag was left. And then I get into one fight where none of the fucking buttons would work how they're supposed to, and I get X'd by one random fucking orc, not even an orc, just one fucking hunter orc with a spear, and then I have to sit through 10 minutes of the Nemesis system refreshing itself with a whole new bunch of dicks that I don't know, so I then got to find out more intel about those assholes. I was so angry.
What's been a game that's really what's the game that's made you rage the most from you guys? I know mine instantly what mine is. But what are yours?
Oh, see, I've had a lot of games like that.
The biggest one, the one that's made you want to. Literally, I've had a game that's made me throw my controller on the floor, and I've never done that before. But Like, is there any games that literally made you want to damage your stuff?
Oh, I can't remember what it was. I know it was an Xbox 360 game, and I think I immediately wiped it from memory because it just fucking angered me so much. But I actually broke a controller. I clean snapped a controller in half because it pissed me off so much. Oh fuck! What was it? It was an adventure game of some sort. Fuck! I can't even remember it angered me that much. Jesus. Some PTSD.
You literally had an aneurysm of amnesia.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I literally had a fucking aneurysm playing that. It was so fucking bad.
Well, why are you trying to remember? What's yours, Tom?
Oh, I don't think I've got one I really, really hate, because I would always give up before I would get to the state of pure rage.
Yeah, well, that's quite a good philosophy to go to, I guess.
Because, I'm a recreational gamer. I play to have fun.
Yeah.
This is what I do to wind down and enjoy my time not doing work. So I don't really play games that anger me or make me frustrated.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine. And it's a game that I actually fucking love, so it's kind of weird at the same time. But it is a game that makes me go to a special dark place that I'm like, after a while of playing it, once I feel like I'm getting there now, I'm just like, I need to turn this off and not play it again. Super Meat Boy.
Oh,
makes me rage.
Meat Boy.
That's
bad.
Really
fun. I like that one.
Because I've got to the point now where I've done like all the levels normally. I'm now doing the dark levels, and I'm also doing the girl levels, which I've like fucking on a different level entirely. They're just wrong how difficult they are. So literally there's been times, and it's the only one that's made me throw my controller across on the table and bang against the wall, and I was lucky it didn't break. Because I just went, it was the last level of the main campaign, and I was literally sat there for 3 hours non-stop doing it, and after about the second hour I kind of went into a bit of a delirium.
Yeah.
And I was like, kind of entered a different psyche, and I was like, started twitching and shit, and I was just like, finally in the end I managed to get it, and then like, I think for the betterment of my health, I think I was pretty close to going to the asylum at that point, but still.
Oh, I think I remember what mine was.
Go on.
Fucking Tron. Just that is a bad taste in my mouth, that game. That is like, seriously, don't even pick up, like, anyone that's listening to this, don't even pick up Tron out of like morbid curiosity. Like, was that the game made for the new movie that they released, or? It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It is the ride to hell of the Xbox 360. It is so bad. It looks horrible. Like everyone looks plastic and disgusting. The combat is bullshit. Trying to get around is fucking horrible because like your guy will randomly stick and or jump and or slide and or fucking headbutt walls. So it's like the story makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's so bad. It's I can't even accurately compress how bad this is. I mean, people give Fable 2 a lot of shit. I would rather play Fable 2 until my eyes fall out of my fucking skull. And I actually hate Fable 2. I'd rather play that game until my eyes fall out of my skull.
Yeah, so I might pick out a game that actually quite annoys me now. Fable 3.
Oh wow!
Fuck you. Fable 3 was brilliant.
Fable 3 was a mess.
Fable 3 was fucking awesome. I honestly do not understand how people have any problem with the control system. I sussed it out inside.
With the control system, it just bores me to shit. I will say now, okay, there's a few mechanics in it I do really enjoy. I love the villain in it as well. The darkness is terrifying, beautiful. Cool. I love the darkness, and the voice acting as well. Love the voice acting, but I just don't feel anything for the hero that I'm meant to be.
Or how broken the game can become if you allow it. Like I like a lot of the issue that I had with like the end of Fable. Is that like if you don't know when the ending happens, that's really bad. So if you're trying to defend everyone and do like a playthrough that way, you just don't know when the ending happens. It goes from like 300 days, 280 days, 260 days, 0 days. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened there? Yeah,
it was. Be more prepared. Yeah, if only the king didn't step into a diabetic coma for 3 months or some nonsense.
But the thing is with that, like, because then people die, it might be people that are in shops. So then your end game is essentially destroyed. You can't do anything. You can't buy anything. There's no one you can fucking fucking marry. You can't go to these places because they're wiped out by the darkness. You can't it's just like, ugh, really.
See, I have none of these problems that everyone bitches about. I had no problems with it. I got
I had a real emotional
no one
connection
paid
to that
attention to the end game. Obviously, no one's fucking paid attention to like the actual end game, because for me, it was extremely clear when the last point was going to be, because you get a fucking text prompt.
You don't. No, you don't. No, right? You don't get. I seem to remember, right, and they may have patched it since then. I seem to remember being at a point like, oh, this is the end of the game. I really had no indication that was going to happen. And it's not. I'm one of those people that reads fucking everything that comes up on the screen because I take my time. And I was like, but I wanted more time.
Well, I must have got it post-patch then, because I got a little pop-up saying like, kind of, you were. Like kind of if you pass this point, like, well, it was one of those basically like kind of like point of no return ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it said, but it was a point of no return text, and I was like, oh, okay, that gives me time to tie off this and tie off that. I can go do that and such and such, and I had fun with the end battle, becoming like a big fucking winged bitch and slamming the shit out of a guy with a big hammer. But,
no, I mean the stuff for it obviously that I think that works, and
yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, the most complaints I've heard have been about the controls and the.
I don't have an issue with the controls.
Yeah,
controls.
There's nothing wrong with the combat system. Why do people bitch about it?
It is too easy, but it's. I don't have a problem with the combat.
That's kind of the but it's easy to get the hang of. But there's a lot of evolution that comes with it, because you get more weapons. There's like you can do rifle hammer, or like sword pistol, or like rifle axe. You can do loads of different combinations. You can do like a bajillion different spell combinations. You can equip like a fire and an ice gauntlet and just fucking wail on dudes. And when you get to like the higher level, like kind of like the higher levels of magic, you can just waste fuckers with an area of effect if you've got long enough to charge it up. Switching between different attacks is easy. Targeting in different directions is fairly easy. You'll very rarely miss because the auto targeting is pretty solid.
Can you at least grant me this, Chris? Grant me this, that the befriending mechanic in number 3 is infinitely more annoying now that when you reach a certain stage, you've got to do a little fetch quest for some bastard you're just trying to make friends with.
Well, yeah, but that's part. Yeah, but you don't have to do that shit, though.
You do have to.
If you want to befriend them to a further point, yes, you do.
Yeah. That's a huge part of the game, is the interaction with the people.
Yeah, but it's not integral to the story, though. You can do those bits. That's entirely optional. You don't fucking have to do it.
What I enjoyed from Fable 2 was actually making my own story, making my own family. Because when suddenly, in Fable 2, when the bad guy reveals that he's killed off your family, spoiler alert,
yeah, spoiler.
I was emotionally distraught. And that's actually what influenced my choice at the end to go for the uber good ending. Because I was like, my family's dead. I can sacrifice myself now because I will devote everything to the people who've lost their families, because I can't live without my family.
I think as well, one of the main things, it left a bit of taste in my mouth, Fable 3, right from the get-go. I bought the game intending to play it co-op. The game doesn't work in co-op.
Co-op is a bitch.
It's such a mess. I've never seen a co-op in a game.
Never worked in co-op though. I don't even know why they bothered to include it in any.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I did play some of the Fables before, not as much as you guys. So when I got Fable 3, I was like, oh, it's got co-op in it. It says on the back of the fucking box you can play co-op. And then me and Stacey played it, and literally Stacey felt as if she wasn't doing anything. And the huge part of like when you're talking to people, it's all like, oh, one person's just watching you, or if you're trying to interact, the other person just has to wait. The amount of time that the co-op person has to put down their controller and do nothing is just astronomical. It's such a fucking mess. Or the whole thing about it as well, that if you've bought like a bit of DLC that the other person doesn't have, you can't do co-op with them. That is just absolutely fucking mental.
It's a nightmare if you got yourself the extended DLC.
Yeah. Like if you bought loads of tons and tons of DLC, but I mean there was loads for it for Fable 3, like tons of it. If you bought all of it, then the only way the other person can play with you is if they buy exactly the same amount of DLC as you. Otherwise they can't play with you co-op. I don't even understand how they thought that was a good idea. I was like, oh. like for instance, like if the way that Guild Wars is going to do it for an MMO, just to put it in perspective, right? I'm going to buy the expansion. Let's say you guys don't. Just because I've got new armor and new skins doesn't mean I can't play with you. It just means you can't get the skins I have, right? But like with Fable, it's like, oh, if you don't have the skins and stuff, then we're just not going to let you play. So instead of like saying, okay, fair enough, I will download it. Obviously, I can't use it. I can download it so I can see it like a patch. They were just like, no, you just can't do it. You just can't play with that person. So that was a stupid idea.
Yeah,
I think Angry Joe.
Yeah.
Angry Joe did a video like 32 things wrong with Fable 3, and there was a few things that like wasn't that much of a problem with, but the co-op I was like absolutely what a fucking mess that was.
Actually, that's like his only video he's ever done that I don't like. Like
even with bad games,
I
right?
think he gets too fucking petty with that shit. It's like, okay, most of the stuff you're complaining about in this is actually just like you're finding things wrong. You're actively.
I disagree.
Oh, sir, I take offence to that.
But the thing is, right? It's okay.
I had no problem with it. I thought it was a giant step up from the abomination that was Fable 2. I fucking hated that game. The controls were janky. It didn't work. The story was mildly entertaining at best. The only entertaining bit in it was, what's his name? The fucking endless dude, the guy who's like constantly immortal, and you're like, and he actually tricked me. Reaver. He acted
by the almighty Lord Stephen Fry.
yeah, and like he accidentally tricked me into sacrificing someone. I was like, whoops. But like he was the only entertaining bit in the game. Like the whole story was bullshit. It's like I didn't enjoy Fable 2 at all. Like, and
I
after
found the
Fable,
story from Fable 3 to be more bullshit than Fable 2.
How?
Because I don't care about anyone.
You're not making the effort to fucking get in touch with anyone.
Everyone expects like an instant connection. It's not on me to impress me, is it? It's on the game to impress me. If I don't connect to the characters, that's not my fault.
Yeah, but like you're expecting too much of the game. It's like the game
I'm
was going to give you an
too much
instant
to be
connection
to
with
actually have a
everyone.
connection with some fucking characters in an RPG of a story I'm actually invested in or trying to get invested in. That's not me, is it?
Then yes, you're not bothering to try to get involved.
What do you mean I'm not bothered to try?
You're not going to get an instant satisfaction from everyone. You have to talk to people.
But I think well, you already said that before, that talking to people in Fable 3 is a damn sight worse than doing it in Fable 2.
Because I've got to do something to impress them. I'm the fucking prince of the land, trying to save the kingdom from my dick brother. I've got to impress them. No!
I think, right, listen, so
really?
like...
Okay, so what do you do in every other RPG where you're supposed to be the hero and yet you've got to do fetch quests and impress for everyone in every RPG ever made?
I'm trying to just befriend a villager with the standard mechanic that is, pose muscles or fart or belch or some nonsense. Suddenly at the end of that level, I've got to do some trivial little bollocks to continue my friendship with them.
Or like deliver this thing to another like town or something like that. It's just like, listen, right, at the end of the day, right, people might be thinking, oh my god, like they go like the everything nice. I've got no issue. Like Chris can like the game. There's no issue with that. Like obviously people are going to like different things, but my own personal thoughts with it with Fable 3. Is that I do agree with a lot of stuff that Angry Joe said. I think there was a lot of mistakes done in terms of the game, but it's not as if I can say, oh, well, I don't understand why other people can't like it or do like it. Games are completely opinionated, but my own opinion with Fable 3 is that how do I explain this? Because I didn't play much of Fable 2, so I can't state in regards to that. The game itself, in terms of characters and invoking emotion, it built up to a crescendo for me at the end of the game, where it was supposed to be this big invasion, and it was a little bit like, oh, it's happening now, oh shit, that's it. And I was like, oh.
It wasn't even that much of an invasion, was it?
Yeah, like I thought at least like you could see the devastation on your on your city and stuff. Fair enough and all that, but like it was a little bit like then I was like ready to play the after game, and then I couldn't because all my people were dead because the game didn't tell me that it skips from it has like increments of like 10 days and it skips like 200 days in one go, and I'm like, oh, like what the fuck happened there? Not to say I did enjoy playing through it, but there was just some points in the game where I was just like, oh, okay, this is it. This is how it's going to happen. Okay. And obviously, part of my issue as well is that, as I said, I started off in such a bad way because I tried to play co-op and I couldn't play co-op because it's damn near unplayable to play in co-op.
Yeah.
So
I will admit that is a big failing of fucking all the Fable games that have tried to include co-op. It's never really worked.
No.
Unless it was built from the ground up to incorporate it, in which, like, it could be done. then
yeah.
but
It's just mainly like it's an add-on for certain quests to do with someone who's following you.
yeah, like imagine if they tacked it on in the same way Dragon Age Inquisition, it would be just as bad as Dragon Age Inquisition because it was primarily made to be a single player game. So
Yeah.
like it seems to me that afterwards they're like, oh, we can have co-op as a feature of our game. Let's just add it in there, but it's just it reeks of being tacked on because, as I said, sometimes it just doesn't even work. So imagine if they did that at the end of like Dragon Age Inquisition, then one person literally for all the stuff like in Skyhold can't do anything. They can only play when you're out in the wilderness, and then in which case like you're playing one guy where the other guy dictates what happens, what the other three do. It would just be boring as shit for the second player, and that's
Or
what
even
Fable
with
will be.
Fable 3 with other people finding masses of faults with it, I would bet dollars to donuts they'd still rather play that than play Assassin's Creed Unity.
Well, I haven't played
That's
Unity.
sir.
I'm just going to drop the mic on that.
I haven't played Unity, so I
Like
can't
saying,
say.
I bet someone would rather have a fishhook jammed under their fingernail rather than have their throat slit.
No, I'm sorry. I bet you'd have more fun playing Fable 3 than you would Assassin's Creed Unity. Mostly because
I
you would be
completely
fighting the
agree with you.
controls. Mostly because you wouldn't be fighting the controls.
And plus,
I played Unity. It's fucking bad.
Assassin's Creed Unity sticks kitties into parts of like chimneys. I've seen the video and it's awful. Poor kitty being stuck in chimneys.
I'm sorry, but there's so much wrong with Assassin's Creed
Did you know-
Unity. You could just like fill a whole week of watching stuff on
Bug
like,
videos.
just glitches on YouTube. You could just sit there for a full week staring at a computer, just on fucking Unity glitches alone.
It's like the best. It's like the best comedy game of the year because it's like. How the fuck is this?
Not if you're fucking trying to play it.
Yeah, if you're watching it and just like sitting back and watching it, then it's like it's comedy gold. We're trying to play it, you're like trying to get immersed.
Now what I'm going to do for my wedding with the consoles bet, I'm going to get Assassin's Creed Unity, just sit Chris in front of it, and just gather everyone round and just be like, everyone, shh. This is magic right now.
This is going to be very
Admittedly,
funny.
it has gotten a little bit better with recent patches, but it's
Just for
just
shits
so
and gigs.
unplayable, and I just don't give a shit. I mean, what, Tom? You say you don't give a shit about anyone in Fable 3. It's worse for me in Unity. I instantly checked out the second I started playing it.
No, I believe you.
Because some of them don't have heads. Do.
I think
That's the best
The reason
glitch
why
ever.
it's so bad for me is because I was expecting so much more because I loved Fable so much.
Right, okay, I will show you what is in my games library right now. I have my console in front of me. In my games library, I have Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is fucking awesome on the Xbox One. It looks
Really
really
is.
fucking
I
sweet.
want Black Flag actually. I really want to play that.
Black Flag is the most epic Assassin's Creed game aside from the first one, and maybe maybe the whole Ezio series. So
Yeah.
I've got Dark Dreams Don't Die, which I haven't played yet because that looks like it might be optimized for the Kinect, and I want to get a Kinect before I try it out.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I got Dragon Age Inquisition, obviously.
Yeah.
Halo the Master Chief Collection.
Obviously.
Shadow of Mordor. #IDURB. Rayman Legends. Sunset Overdrive. Still my most favourite game of the next generation. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Titanfall. Volgar the Viking, which is fucking impossible. God, that game is fucking punishing. That game really hails back to like the One Life days of like 80s games. It's so fucking difficult but really addictive. I've got Warframe, Worms Battlegrounds, and Watch Dogs. And then I have Assassin's Creed Unity sitting in my ready to install pile.
Do you know what bugs me about Assassin's Creed?
Hello.
In this era. And they've actually announced that the next game is going to be set in Victorian London, which I'm excited for, but I'm not really because we haven't done anything else. I mean, we did you did the Crusades, then Renaissance Italy, then America, boring as fuck by the way, then Pirates, which was fun, and now we're back to the pre-industrial era or the Industrial Revolution. I don't know. I'm not a history buff. I'm bored of that.
Do modern Assassin's Creed. I'll
Not
be up
even
for that.
modern. I mean, you could do any other period in time, any other country. That would be fun. I'm bored of Western countries.
Yeah, they did a
What
China
was
one that
India?
apparently got. Well, they did like a China DLC apparently it was really good. That got good reviews.
China DLC for Unity.
No, for it was one of the previous Assassin's Creed games. I think it was around about the time of the end of Black Flag's lifespan, as it were, before they dedicated everything to Unity. They did do they did a Chinese one that I think it was only like it was only like a 5-mission DLC, but apparently that got a lot of that got a lot of critical reviews, and it was actually pretty good. So I'd actually, and that's one of the things, and actually following up on your point, Tom, that's one of the things that a lot of the fans have requested so much is Assassin's Creed in fucking Japan. We want Assassin Ninjas.
Not even ninjas, Assassin Samurai. That would be fun.
Assassin Samurai. Oh no, Assassin Samurais versus Templar Ninjas.
That's just going crazy. That's going mad.
I mean, we've already had Black Flag, we've already had Black Flag. We've had Assassin's Pirates, and everyone had fun with it. It was a fucking awesome game.
I will play Assassin's Creed Black Flag to the day I die because I love pirates.
Yeah, and floating around, and I think that's the most perfect open world game I've ever played, especially on the Xbox One. It seems to be it seems like they put more effort into streamlining that for the next gen than they did for actually making Unity. Yeah, because all the load times between everything is almost instant. There's very little load times. Everything runs obscenely smoothly. All the free running, the combat, everything works absolutely perfectly in Black Flag. If you ever found a problem in the Xbox 360 version, it is fixed in the next gen version. And it just looks so much better. So you're just sailing around in your pirate ship I feel like a boss.
Do you know the funny thing though about Unity, right? The very funny thing. They released Unity and it was a next gen exclusive. They released a game called Rogue, which was for all the old gen 360, PS3,
which I do want to try.
Which apparently Rogue is actually pretty good. Apparently it's okay.
Because you follow the Templars. You start off as an assassin, and then you get disillusioned, and you become a Templar hunting assassins.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I want to play that. That actually looks really good. I saw a lot of the trailers and screenshots for that. It looks really fucking good.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that was supposed to be the shovelware that they just appeased to the last generation. Unity was supposed to be this beacon of light, and yet it's it just kind of fell over Viagra that didn't work. And then you've got Rogue, and everyone's like, actually, this is okay. I'll take that Rogue. That's okay. And it's just quite funny when you look at it back there. That Rogue was supposed to be just the little red-headed stepchild that was just given away to people. And it's
Assassin's Creed Unity. I mean, this really says something for how bad it is. Assassin's Creed Unity is one of the few games I just can't bring myself to finish.
It's a chore.
I just physically can't do it. I can't be bothered to play it. So I just find it so repetitive and so boring and so mind-numbing and so just a pain in the arse to get around. And I just can't be bothered to play it. I'd rather play fucking anything. It's I'd rather play 4 hours of Rayman Legends than fucking half an hour of fucking Assassin's Creed Unity. It's just such a chore.
See, all I'm hearing right now is Chris saying, I could play Assassin's Creed Unity, but then I could also do cocaine, so...
I could rub my nuts on a cactus, which would be less uncomfortable.
I could tie salmon to my nutsack and try wrestling a bear. That's fun.
It's just... I see potential in Assassin's Creed Unity. It has the potential to be the new Assassin's Creed 2, or the introduction of a character... that I'm sorry, they've tried to make a new Ezio, but haven't quite pulled it off. I'm sorry, but Ezio was one of a kind. He was almost from out of nowhere hit, because he's so different from old.
He was like a lightning bolt or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was lightning in a bowl. I always say that Altair, he created the Assassin's Creed universe. Ezio made it. Ezio made it a franchise.
Yeah, Ezio carried it forward because I think it also helps that you went from Altair, a very stoic, conserved kind of guy, to Ezio, who is really relatable. He just seemed a lot more real than Altair was. I mean, Altair was a fucking brilliant character, don't get me wrong. He was a stone cold badass.
Kenway was fun as well, because he was just this lovable rogue who was just exactly. Money. I'm not even going to buy things.
Of both those characters, of both Ezio and Kenway, is that they're super relatable. is like they seem like actual people, like dudes you just randomly meet out in the street. They seem like real people. They have
Someone you
real
see at the pub,
emotions.
you're just like, I want to have a drink with that man.
Yeah.
And we'll get up to shenanigans.
Yeah,
And then you've got, who's the guy in number 3 who everyone just fucking hates? Connor.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's so one-dimensional. He's such a one-dimensional, whiny little fucking dick.
He vastly overestimates his contributions and capabilities. It's just that fine. Enjoy your victory, Washington. It shall be the last I deliver you. Don't worry, mate. Connor, mate, you did next to nothing.
It's like you stood there and directed.
You just basically directed a cannon fire. That's not a turning point in a battle.
Yeah. He could have showed up for 5 minutes, put his feet up on a couch, and then went up to the general and be like, how'd you like my work?
He didn't even get off his fucking horse, a lazy son of a bitch. And he's just so one-dimensional.
And like
the entire thing.
In the trailers, like he's like running full force into like gunfire, like ducking in behind dead soldiers.
Until volley after volley of fire. And that part of the game was actually disappointing as hell, wasn't it?
Oh yes, everyone hates that particular part of the game because as Angry Joe did, you try to recreate what you saw in the trailer and you get almost instantly murdered.
Oh dear, that's so funny. We're running out of time here, guys. We've got about 5 minutes. Is there anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap up?
Well, yeah, I wanted to wrap up with something that I've come up with, that I've seen a lot of lately, and that, quite frankly, I'm fucking disgusted with.
Go on.
And that's fucking paid demos.
Oh, paid demos.
Yes.
What this was?
Paid fucking demos. Final Fantasy, the new Final Fantasy that come out, which, while I'll admit, looks really fucking sweet, and I really wish it would come out on the Xbox One because it looks really fucking awesome, they've released a paid demo.
How much is it for?
I don't know how much it's for, but honestly, I don't fucking care because you shouldn't pay for a fucking demo.
They could put it as 1 cent or 1 penny and it's still wrong.
Quite frankly, as a gamer who grew up in a generation where you could go and get, tying back to what Tony said at the beginning, PlayStation magazines or whatever, or like a PC gamer magazine, and you'd get a disc.
Yeah, you get like that month's disc of the demos.
Are you hearing me? Children of today, teenagers of today, you would get a disc on this magazine. On this disc.
With like 7 different demos.
7 to 6 playable demos with extra video content on them, and you could play these demos as much as you like, as many times as you like, for the price of the magazine. And all of these were free. But now, after the
channel, this wizened old man.
Someone skipped right to the end of it, and it's like, wow, they were old guys doing this.
like, after the debacle, the absolute fucking insulting debacle that was Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero, which was fucking horrible.
£35 for like 4 hours.
It was a full price. It was full game price, a full gen next gen price, which in my experience is at least 55 to 60 quid for under an hour, maybe even under 15 minutes of gameplay, since someone completed it in about fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think 9 minutes or something is the actual record.
Fucking insulting to gamers, and even more insulting to people like me who are a massive fan of the franchise. It's like, what the fuck is this shit, Kojima? Seriously, what the fuck were you thinking releasing this shit? And now
I get
Final
the feeling
Fantasy are doing exactly the same thing, and now everyone thinks it's fine to release a demo of their game for fucking money. No, it is a fucking demo.
I get the feeling...
It's not a game. You should not be charging me for this shit. This should be something you give to us for free to get us into the game so you can then gouge us for the full game price.
Yeah. Did you hear, though, that Kojima's going to leave? He's going.
Yes, I did hear that.
Mention that.
Yeah, I reckon that's down to everything that's happened. I don't think he's happy with the way it's been handled at all.
Honestly, I hope so. Honestly, I hope Kojima takes Metal Gear Solid, goes fuck you to Konami, goes to Bethesda and gets them to make a Metal Gear.
They've got the rights to the fucking franchise.
What, Metal Gear Solid? No, they fucking don't.
Yes, they do. They're the publisher. Of course they have the rights to it.
Yeah, but after this game, they can't make any Metal Gear Solid games without him.
I know, but they won't allow another studio to make one. They won't, because it's money taken out of their pocket. But trust me. Like, for instance, I'm a big fan of Guyver. David Hayter starred in a Guyver movie, and like like, it's a dead franchise now. No one knows, barely anyone knows about it. Like, the Japanese are very fucking tetchy about their intellectual rights. They haven't allowed him to make anything since him starring in it, and he wants to write and direct it and fucking probably even fund it himself. He wants to do anything, so it would be exactly the same. It's like, well, yeah, maybe your baby, but we paid for that baby. We had the rights to it, so fuck you, Kojima. Go wherever you like. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, but like, I just think that's fucking disgusting in this day and age that, like, AAA developers think they can get away with that shit.
Because they can, unfortunately.
It's like, yeah, but seriously, if anyone out there buys this, don't. You are encouraging this shitty behaviour that should not be fucking tolerated. And yes, I know I'm pretty much copying word for word what fucking Angry Joe said, but you should not be fucking encouraging this bullshit. This is not acceptable. You used to get like 10 demos on a disc for fucking free, and now we've got to pay for like almost full game price for some 10-minute bullshit. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck how good it looks. I don't give a fuck who it's from. I don't give a fuck what IP it is. It is not acceptable.
Like the fact of the matter is, right? As you say, you're a huge Metal Gear fan. So am I.
Yeah.
Like the last one that I played hugely to death was Peace Walker. So I'm dying for a good game because that game was fucking phenomenal. Yeah. But I didn't buy Ground Zeroes, and it hurt me not to do it because I'm such a huge fan. But as you say, I've got to stick to my morals. It's a demo.
It's a fucking demo. It is a tech demo. It's not a fucking game. And I don't care. As Angry Joe said, I don't give a fuck of all these people who say, oh, you can get like 20 or 30 or 100 hours out of the game. That's only if you walk around staring at the fucking floor.
You can get that much time in any game. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I can get that much time in Rayman Legends, jumping up and down and spinning in fucking circles. That doesn't make it a decent fucking experience.
Like
Right?
the most painful thing for me, and I've watched Let's Plays of it, right? You can see the entirety of the story within about 20 minutes. And it doesn't really. All it tells you is that shit at the end of Peace Walker, kind of shit went a little bit bad. Doesn't relate to why it went bad. Doesn't relate to exactly what happens. There is actually no story, none. And it's like the one calling card of Metal Gear Solid is its story and the fact it's like got such a convoluted and
that's one
complicated
of the main
story at this point. So,
I mean, like the Metal Gear Solid game I like the most is possibly Snake Eater.
I love Snake Eater.
Like, that's a fucking awesome game. I love every second of it. Like, the biggest like kind of detractor I hear about that game is the fact that the cutscenes are too long, and then they go from that to this.
Yeah, I would take those cutscenes any day over what's in Ground Zeroes.
Yeah, I mean, some of the shit in like kind of Metal Gear Solid Snake. I mean, like kind of I straight up fucking cried when I had to shoot Big Boss.
Oh, I did.
But the game makes you pull the fucking trigger. You can't move. You can't do anything else except hit that one button.
We're gonna have to do a whole episode on MGS3 because that's one of my all times as well. Yeah. And we're running out of time as well. So
yeah, it's like that's what I just wanted to say. It's like you can tell how much of a fan I am just by how fucking angry I am about this because I think it's fucking despicable and I don't think it should be encouraged at all. I think every time one of these things pops up, no one should buy it. I don't care how die-hard of a fan you are, control yourself. And I know from experience that Metal Gear Solid fans like myself and Final Fantasy fans, like, we're really bad for buying any kind of shit that comes up with our fandoms because we're extremely hardcore fans. And anything that pops up, we're going to fucking buy it. But we need to control ourselves, people. We need to band together and tell these developers that we ain't going to put up with this shit anymore. Even if they release it for like fucking 5 pence or 1 penny, do not buy it. Get across the message that we don't want to fucking pay for demos. That we should get demos for free. It's like, this needs to come back. Demos for free needs to come back.
And that is Chris's final thought.
Yeah.
Just like Jerry Springer style. There you go. Let's just there. Yeah, we do need to wrap up, guys. That was an interesting chat there, and quite a pivotal message to leave the episode on. Wow, we talked about loads of stuff. I love this format of the show, just kind of rambling on.
It's good fun.
There's actually stuff on my list that I didn't even talk about. Battlefield Hardline being released. We'll have to talk about that next week. Some other stuff on there as well.
Yeah, we'll
but thanks guys for listening to the episode. I'm sorry, obviously, for not being around for the last 2 weeks. We will be around, as you know. You subscribe to the channel, we'll get footage up there. And like I said, we've got Minecraft stuff planning on coming up there soon to be able to see us all screaming and stuff like that in terms of kind of fight the Ender Dragon. But apart from that, we hope that you did enjoy, and if you did, you can also subscribe to the Kittens of War gaming community channel. You can like the video and obviously share it all over social media as well. We do appreciate all the support. And if you do like it, you want to ask us any questions, then you can also leave that in the comments and we'll try and answer that here on the show as well.
Yay.
Apart from that, we are out of here. We'll catch you guys. Well, I won't catch you next week, but some of the guys might catch you next week. And apart from that, we hope you have a great week. We hope you do enjoy the games, even if we blast them here. If you enjoy them, then all power to you. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.